Hello everyone. So the next concept is the temperature rise. As we know that this temperature rise is a very important concept in electrical machine drives. Now what is the exact reason for this temperature rise or the rise in temperature in electrical machinery? As we know that first, due to the losses in the machine drives, these losses will result in the production of heat, and this heat in turn will result in the rise in temperature of the machines, right? So the first and foremost thing is that we will see that the rating of the motor, that is the today's concept, that is the rating of the motor depends upon the temperature time curve, that is nothing but heating time curve. So we need to choose that appropriate motor based upon that important factor, that is the temperature rise. So based upon this temperature rise, we need to choose the appropriate motor for the appropriate application. So based upon the size of the motor, again the two factors are been crucial here. The first thing is that the maximum temperature rise for a given load and the maximum temperature and the maximum torque required. Again I'm repeating, the maximum temperature rise for a given load and the maximum torque required. Clear? So among these two factors, the first factor is very important, that is the maximum temperature for a given load. If the motor it is satisfying the temperature rise for appropriate given load, we will in turn satisfy the maximum torque. Clear what I am saying? If the motor it is satisfying that temperature rise for a certain given load in certain application, will in turn results that it is delivering the maximum torque required to that appropriate load. So now what are the several factors which are responsible for the rise in temperature? The first factor is that the rate at which the heat is produced. Again I am repeating, what are the factors which are responsible for this temperature rise? The first thing is that the rate at which the heat is produced, and the second factor is the rate at which the heat is dissipated. After getting heated, the motor it has to dissipate, right? So that is also, the dissipation is also one of the important factor. Next thing is that the insulation of the motor, and nextly the method of cooling. What is the appropriate method we are using in order to cool that motor, right? So after that, the loading condition. The loading condition means in which, because based upon the loading condition only, the direction of heat will also reflect. Because if you see that the 6th point is the direction of the heat flow will also depends upon the loading condition. For example, when a motor is on no load condition, the whole sole responsible is that only core losses, and because the total resultant losses when the motor is on no load is only core losses. So in that no load condition, or where the core loss only responsible, in that the heat which has been generated or which has been produced will flow from that steel parts to that winding. Again I am repeating, and when the motor is on no load condition, only the responsible losses or the losses which has been incurred are core losses, and due to these core losses the heat is produced, and the direction of that heat flows the heat will flow from the steel parts of the motor to that winding of the motor, right? And on load condition, that heat liberated will flow from, that is vice versa, that is from the winding part of the motor to the steel parts of the motor. So based upon the loading condition also, the direction of the heat flow will also be differ. So at the beginning of the motor on, when the motor is on, at the beginning the temperature will be raised or will be continuously raising. Once it is been reached, it completely based upon the losses the temperature is raised. After that it will be start cooling down, and it will reach to a steady state point. And in this steady state point, the amount of the heat generated in the motor, it will be equivalent to that amount of the heat will be the dissipated at that steady state point. Clear what I am saying? As the motor at the starting condition, the temperature will be the raised. Once it will be the raise in temperature will result after after the completely the total resultant losses. Due to these losses, the heat will be produced and the temperature will be the raise, and the raise in temperature we will observe. Once it is reached that optimum value of the temperature, then the motor will start cooling, and it will cool up. Will the heat, how the cooling? By dissipating the heat, and it will reach to a steady state point. Clear? And the steady state point will be the whole cell responsible for that the amount of the heat, that is in the heating condition, equivalent to the amount of the heat has been dissipated. That is that cooling condition. We will observe that particular point in that steady state condition. Clear? So the temperature raise at the beginning will be the high, and it will gradually decrease, and it will reach to a steady state. And at the steady state, the amount of heat generated equivalent to the amount of heat dissipated. So in order to make this constraint, and in order to calculate the temperature raise equation, the equation will become very complex. That is the reason we will take some assumption. The first assumption is that we will consider that the heat produced, that is that where the amount of the heat produced, that means the losses will remain constant during the temperature raise. The first assumption, in order to simplify the temperature equation, is that we will make that the losses remain constant during the temperature raise. Clear? That is the first and foremost assumption. The second assumption is that heat dissipated is directly proportional to that difference in the temperature of the motor and the cooling medium, and that means the cooling law will holds in a good condition. The second assumption is that the heat dissipated will directly proportional to that difference in the temperature of the motor and the cooling medium. That means the law of cooling will holds good. Clear? And the third assumption is that the temperature of the cooling medium will always remains the same. Again, I am repeating, the temperature of the cooling medium will always remains the same. Why we are taking all the three assumptions into consideration is that if we will generally take that, we will continue the derivation, the temperature raise equation will become very complex. In order to simplify that temperature raise equation, we are following these assumptions. The first assumption is that the heat production, that the heat produced, that is the losses will remain constant during the temperature raise. That means irrespective of the temperature raise, we will consider that losses will be constant. We will take the losses to be constant. Clear? And the second assumption is that the heat dissipated is directly proportional to the temperature of the motor and the cooling medium. That means the law of cooling is been satisfied here. We are taking that law of cooling into consideration. By the heat dissipated, we are making that being directly proportional to that difference in the temperature of the motor and the cooling medium. And the third assumption is that the temperature of the cooling medium will always remains the same. Clear? So the temperature of the cooling medium will remains the same. Based upon these three assumptions, now we will derive the temperature raise equation. So in order to start a derivation, first we will see the notations in what we are taking now. That is a W, that is the loss in the watts taking place in the motor. So in order to represent the loss, I am taking the loss as W. So nextly the G. G is nothing but mass of the motor in kgs. So the mass of the motor in kgs we are considering in G. So after that S. S represents the specific heat in watt second per kg per degree centigrade. Clear? So the theta is the temperature raise above ambient temperature in degree centigrade after time t. So ambient temperature in degree centigrade after time t. After that theta f, it is nothing but final temperature raise in degree centigrade with continuous loading condition. After that A is nothing but area of cooling surface in square meters. After that lambda, rate of which heat dissipated in watt per square meters per degree centigrade raise. Again I am saying we are considering, these are the notations in order to start the derivation part. First we are taking that W, the W represents that loss in watts taking place in the motor, means the loss in motor we are representing as W, and the G is mass of the motor in kgs, and S is nothing but specific heat in watt second per kg per degree centigrade. After that theta is nothing but temperature raised above ambient temperature in degrees after time t, seconds. Nextly, theta f represents that final temperature raise in degrees with continuous load. Nextly, A represents area of cooling surface in square meters. Next, lambda, rate of heat dissipation in watt per square centimeter per degree centigrade raise. So, based upon these factors, now we are going to start the derivation part. Right. Now, let's take a small interval, suppose dt. Let's take a small interval, that is dt. In the small interval dt, the raise in temperature, I am saying it as d theta. Let's take a small time interval dt, and in that small interval dt, the raise in temperature is d theta, and then the raise in temperature, the d theta is also due to the losses in the particular motor. Clear? Again I am repeating. Let's take a small time interval dt, and in this time interval there is a raise in the temperature, that is nothing but d theta, and this is also due to because of the heat produced in the motor. Now with these constraints, now we will see that the total loss in the motor during the time interval dt is equal to W into dt, that is watt second, that is the total amount of loss in the particular motor. Right. So nextly, the total heat dissipation from the surface during the same time interval, that is nothing but during the same time interval is nothing but the time is dt. So the heat dissipated from the surface during the same time interval dt is nothing but A into lambda into theta d theta. Again I repeat, the total heat dissipated during the same time interval, that is dt, in that particular time interval only, it is A into lambda into theta d theta. Right. So after that, the additional heat stored in the motor, again I am repeating, the additional heat stored in the motor is nothing but G into S into d theta, that is G into S into d theta. Right. So according to that, heat generated is equivalent to heat absorbed or stored plus heat dissipated, that is heat generated is equal to heat absorbed or stored plus heat dissipated. So if suppose heat generated is nothing but W into d theta, W into dt, sorry, heat generated is nothing but W into dt equal to heat absorbed is nothing but G into S into d theta plus heat dissipated is nothing but A into lambda into theta into dt. Again I am repeating, heat generated is nothing but W into dt, that is equivalent to heat absorbed or stored is nothing but G into S into d theta plus heat dissipated is equal to A into lambda into theta dt. Clear? Now I am taking all the dt terms to one side, that is I'm taking this A lambda theta d theta into left hand side. It will become W minus A lambda theta into dt is equal to G into S into d theta. Clear? I am bringing that dt term which is on the right hand side to that left hand side. Then I'll make the dt as common. So it will evaluate, it will obtain W minus A lambda theta into dt, that equivalent to this part G into S into d theta. Right. So now from this expression, now I am taking that some mathematically we will solve further. That is dt by gs equal to d theta by w minus a lambda theta. Clear? Just I am rearranging the equation. Right. Now in this expression, in the right hand side, you take common of this a lambda. You take the common of this a lambda. Then what will obtain? We will obtain dt divided by gs, that is by a lambda that is equivalent to d theta by w by a lambda minus theta. Again I am repeating, in this expression which is on the right hand side, let take that a lambda part outside the expression and bring to left hand side. Then we are getting dt by gs by a lambda, that equivalent to d theta by w by a lambda minus theta. Right. So nextly we will see that this is the expression we got. In this expression, for example, if the temperature has reached to its final value, once the temperature is reached its final value, then the stored or observed heat will become 0. There will not be any stored or observed heat in the motor. Whatever the amount of heat is heated up, it has to dissipate. Clear? Again I am repeating, once the motor has reached its final temperature it reached to its final value, now the temperature will no more will increase. That is the maximum temperature it has been raised. After that, once it reach the maximum temperature, then the motor will start cooling down. So when the motor will start cooling down means at that venture the motor is already switched off. So when the motor is switched off means there is no amount of heat absorbed or stored in the motor. There is only the heat, the amount of heat what it is getting heated up, it has to dispatch. That means whatever the heat generated will always equal to heat dissipated, where the heat absorbed will not be there. Clear? Once it reaches the maximum temperature, the amount of heat generated will obviously will equivalent to the heat dissipated. So at this point W at this point W d theta is equal to a lambda theta f dt. Again I am repeating, as we seen that when the temperature has reached its maximum value, at that point of venture the heat generated is equivalent to heat dissipated. So when heat generated equivalent to heat dissipated means the W dt equivalent to A lambda, same expression again I am repeating. W dt is equal to Gs into d theta plus A lambda theta d theta. It is when heat generated is equal to heat absorbed plus heat dissipated. But when the temperature is reached final, there is no heat absorbed or stored in the motor. How much amount of heat has been heated up, it has to only dissipate. That means the temperature is reached its final value. So this expression, or for example this equation 1, we can we can change as W into d theta is equal to A into lambda into theta f. Previously it was theta. Now it is becoming theta f because it reached the final value, that is theta f into dt. Right. Now if you simplify this, W by A lambda is equal to theta f, W by A lambda is equal to theta f, as dt got cancelled. W by A lambda is equal to theta f. Now substitute this W by A lambda in equation 2. Let it be suppose equation 2. Substitute this W by A lambda, that is equal to theta f, in this equation number 2. Now the equation 2 will becomes dt by, the equation 2 will becomes dt by Gs by A lambda equivalent to d theta by W by A lambda has been replaced with theta f. So it will be theta f minus theta. Now it will be theta f minus theta, right? So if you further simplify this expression, now what we will get, we will see. Now we will integrate this both left hand side part and right hand side part. After integration, it will be A lambda by Gs to T is equal to minus log E of theta f minus theta, right? So after integrating both the left hand side part and right hand side part, we are getting A lambda by Gs into T equivalent to minus log E of theta f minus theta, right? So after integrating, sorry, plus constant C, right? Plus constant C, integration constant. Now we will solve this integration constant C. How? T equal to, we will take 0 at T equal to 0 and theta is equal to theta 1, right? So if you substitute the T equal to 0 and theta is equal to theta 1 in above expression, we will get 0 equal to minus log E of theta f minus theta plus C. So here C equal to, I am moving this part to that left hand side, that is log E of theta f minus, sorry, here it will be theta 1, theta f minus theta 1, right? So this is the integration constant C value. Substitute this value in this expression. Substitute this value in the expression. Now what we will get? We will get A lambda by Gs into T equal to minus log E of theta f minus theta plus this obtained constant log E of theta f minus theta 1. I will substitute in the place of C in this equation, that is log E of theta f minus theta 1. So, after simplification, I can write like this: a lambda by gs into t equal to log e of theta f minus theta 1 by theta f minus theta. Okay, understood? Means logarithmic properties I have applied here. Now you move this log to that left hand side part, that is e power a lambda gs into t equal to theta f minus theta 1 by theta f minus theta. Clear? Now our interest is to take this term theta, right? So it will be theta f minus theta is equal to theta f minus theta e power a lambda gs into t multiplied by theta f minus theta 1. So after, again our aim is to take this theta, right? So I am taking this theta into right hand side. It will become theta is equal to theta f minus e power a lambda gs into t multiplied by theta f minus theta 1. This is the final obtained theta value. So the obtained theta value, or theta expression, that is theta is equal to theta f minus e power minus a lambda by gs into t multiplied by theta f minus theta 1. So here I am taking a constant value, that is the heating time constant, that is a capital T equivalent to gs by a lambda. I am taking a heating time constant, that is capital T, that is equivalent to gs by a lambda. Now substitute this gs by a lambda instead of gs by a lambda as T. So the above expression can be simplified as theta equal to theta f minus theta f minus theta 1 multiplied by e power minus t by capital T. Again I am repeating, I am taking a heating time constant capital T that equivalent to gs by a lambda. Now substituting the gs by a lambda equivalent to heating time constant T in the above expression, we will obtain the above expression as theta is equal to theta f minus theta 1 into e power minus t by capital T. Okay. Now if we consider the ambient temperature, if the motor is starting at an ambient temperature, then the theta 1 will become 0. Again I'm repeating, if the motor is starting at an ambient temperature, then my theta 1 value will become 0. So if you substitute the theta 1 equal to 0 in the above expression, the above expression will become as theta is equal to theta f minus it will be theta f if you substitute theta 1 is equal to 0, then theta f into e power minus t by capital T, right? Now you take the theta f as common, that is theta is equal to theta f into 1 minus e raised to power minus t by capital T. This is the theta value. Clear? So after obtaining the theta is equal to theta f into 1 minus e raised to power minus small t by capital T. Now we are going to see, if suppose let us assume that the small t equal to capital T. Let us assume small t equal to capital T in this expression. Then what it will be? The theta is equal to theta f into 1 minus e raised to power minus t by t. So after simplification, theta is equal to theta f into 1 minus e raised to power minus 1. If you solve further, we are getting theta is equal to 0.633 theta f. We are getting theta is equal to 0.633 theta f. So theta is equal to 0.633 into theta f. So the heating time constant, it shows that the time required to heat it up to 0.633 times its temperature rise. Means how much time it is taking to heat it up its final temperature, that is 0.633, right? So now let us say, for suppose t equal to what we calculated previously, at t equal to capital T, we are getting t equal to capital T, we are getting theta is equal to 63.3% of theta f. Let it say for t equal to 2t. If t equal to 2t, then theta is equal to, it will be 86.5% of theta f, right? So if suppose t equal to 3t, then theta equal to 95% of theta f, and if small t equal to 4t, then it will be theta equal to 98.2% of theta f, and small t equal to 5t, then theta equal to, for 5t it will be 99.3% of its final temperature, that is theta f, right? And these are all at different time scale, at t equal to capital T, t equal to 2t, t equal to 3t, so on up to 5t. What is its value with respect to the maximum temperature rise, that is theta f. And these are being helpful in order to plot the heating time curve of a motor, right? So nextly we will see that cooling time curve of a motor, right? So next thing is that cooling time curve. So once after reaching the final temperature value, after final steady value of the temperature it reached, then the motor will be switched off. So once the motor has been switched off, the motor now has to dissipate the amount of heat already heated up. So the loss in the motor will be now 0, because the motor is already switched off. So when we are going to derive for this cooling curve, cooling equation, now what we are going to see? We are going to see that as the temperature is already reached its steady value, so once the motor is switched off, then the temperature, the motor has to dissipate the amount of how much it got heated up. Now in that, the total energy loss will be the 0. That means the loss in the motor will be 0. So as we see in that previous expression, that is W into d theta is equal to, that is heat generated is equal to stored in stored in the motor plus heat dissipated. Again I repeat, this is the previous expression, that is W into d theta is equal to Gs into d theta plus A lambda theta into dt. This is nothing but expression what we have seen in the heating curve, that is heat generated equal to heat stored plus heat dissipated. But in that cooling, in the cooling curve, the motor is switched off and motor will dissipate the stored the stored means amount of the heat what it is heated up, it has to dissipate. In that, the total amount of losses, the total energy losses in that particular motor will be 0. So here we'll make this term to be 0. We'll make this term to be 0. Now this expression, and we also seen that the lambda is that heating time constant, right? Now here you will see that lambda dash is the cooling time constant. Clear? Lambda dash it will be. So now if you solve here, it will be 0 equal to Gs into d theta plus A lambda dash theta into dt, right? So now it will be, further simplifying, we are getting dt is equal to, that is A lambda t theta into dt is equal to minus of Gs d theta. Just I'm in the right hand side part, I'm bringing to left hand side part, that is d theta part I'm bringing to left hand side part. So now the expression is becoming as d theta dt is equal to minus Gs by A lambda dash theta into d theta. Clear? Now integrating the expression on both sides. Integrating the expression on both sides, we are getting t equal to minus Gs by A lambda dash, okay, log e power theta plus C2, or let it be C1. This will be the integration constant. C1 is the integration constant. Now we will solve the, what is the value of this integration constant C1. If suppose we are taking t equal to 0 and theta is equal to theta f, let it be, then this expression will become as 0 equal to minus Gs by A lambda dash equal to, log e power theta plus C1. Clear? Now the C1 is nothing but Gs A lambda dash into log e power theta. Now we are going to substitute this C1 in this expression. We are going to substitute this C1 into this expression. We are getting as t equal to minus Gs by A lambda dash log e power theta plus C1, that is Gs by A lambda dash log e power theta. Clear? After attaining final temperature value or final steady temperature value, if the motor is switched off, then the motor will start dissipating the amount of heat, that is it has been heated up. That means if suppose once it has been switched off, the total amount of heat it will be dissipated, it's proportional to that amount of heat it got dissipated. At this time the total energy loss in the particular motor will be 0. Again I'm repeating, if it is reached the steady value of the temperature, if the motor is switched off, then the total amount of loss in the motor will be zero, because there will be no energy loss in the motor because the motor is already switched off. So in that condition, the previous expression, that is heat generated is equal to the heat stored or absorbed plus heat dissipated. That is the expression, this is the expression what we have seen in that heating equation, right, or heating curve. We have discussed that W into dt is equal to Gs into d theta plus a lambda there a lambda theta d theta. Again I'm repeating, the heat generated, that is W into dt, is equal to heat absorbed or stored, that is Gs into d theta, plus heat dissipated, that is a lambda theta d theta. Clear? Right. So here we are not the motor is switched off and the energy loss will be 0. So that is the reason this W into dt will be 0. In the cooling time curve, this W into dt will be 0. And again, the lambda here is that nothing but it is that total amount of heat dissipated, right, in heating curve. But now we are deriving for cooling curve, so this lambda will become lambda dash, that is the amount of heat dissipated in cooling, right. So the above expression can be simplified as 0 equal to Gs d theta plus a lambda dash theta dt. Clear? So now if now simplifying this above equation, that means I am bringing this d theta into that left hand side, for example, or d theta into left hand side, that is a lambda dash theta dt is equal to minus of Gs d theta. Clear? So I'm now taking the dt and remaining time I'm moving on to the right hand side, that is dt is equal to minus Gs by a lambda dash theta into d theta. Clear? Now integrating on both sides, we are getting t equal to minus Gs by a lambda dash log e of theta plus integration constant C1. Clear? Now we are going to solve the integration constant C1 value, that is, let us assume that t equal to 0 and theta is equal to theta f, let's say. So this equation will become as 0 equal to minus Gs by a lambda dash log e power theta plus C1. In theta we are substituting theta f. Clear? Now I am taking C1, that is equal to Gs a lambda dash log e power theta f. Clear? Substituting this C1 in this expression, substituting the C1 integration constant in the expression, in this expression we are getting t equal to minus Gs by a lambda dash log e power log theta plus C1, that is Gs a lambda dash log e power, log e theta f. Clear? Now simplifying this expression, that is t equal to gs by a lambda dash is nothing but log e theta of theta f by theta. Some logarithmic express simplification I have done. After here I am taking the log to left hand side part, that is e power theta is equal to gs a lambda dash into theta f by theta. Clear? Now the above expression what we got, that is e power t is equal to gs into gs divided by a lambda dash theta f by theta has been written as gs by a lambda dash into t is equal to theta f by theta. Now what I am doing, I want the theta value. So theta is equal to e power minus gs a lambda dash into t into theta f. So this is the final expression what we got. Now what we are doing, that we are taking an assumption that cooling time constant, that is T dash is equal to a lambda dash by gs. Again I am repeating, I am taking a cooling time constant, that is T dash, that is equal to a lambda dash by gs. Now substituting this a lambda dash by gs as T dash, the above expression can be written as theta is equal to e power minus small t by capital T dash into theta f. Right? Let's say that, suppose, let's say here, let us say the small t is equal to t dash, small t equal to t dash. Now this theta value will become, theta is equal to 0.367 times of theta f. Clear? It will become 0.36 times of theta f. Clear? The cooling time constant is defined as the amount of time required to cool down the machine to 0.36 times then the initial temperature rise above the ambient temperature. Right. So in order to further proceed the derivation, we are substituting the t equal to t dash, that is equal to theta is equal to theta f into e power minus 1, that is 0.3667 theta f. Now we are going to go for considering the theta small t equal to suppose 2t, okay, or let it be t for the time being, capital T. Okay, so now t equal to 2t, we are getting theta is equal to theta equal to, okay, theta equal to, we are getting 13.5%, we are getting 13.5% of theta f. Nextly, as theta is equal to 3t, t equal to 3t, we are getting theta is equal to, it is 5% of theta f. Right? So nextly at t equal to 4t, if we consider, we are getting t equal to 1.8% of theta f, and t equal to 5t is equal to, we are getting 5t, we are getting theta is equal to 0.7% of theta f. Right? So if you plot the curve for heating time constant and for the heating curve and cooling curve, if you plot, we are getting the curve as, on that x-axis we are taking as time, on the y-axis we are taking temperature. If you plot the curve, we are getting this is for heating and this is for cooling. This is for cooling, cooling. For cooling time curve, this is for heating time curve we are getting, and this is for cooling time curve. And this is the total temperature rise of a machine, how it is being due to the losses, how the machine is getting heated up and how its temperature is raising. And once the machine is switched off, and how the amount of heat it got heated up, it will dispatch, right? So this is the total concept of temperature rise. Thank you.